Welcome to the Echo Sportscast number 29.
I'm Paul McLean.
And I'm Dave Dale. I'm going to whine about another snow day that interrupted my attempts to do badminton coverage.
We've got a great spotlight interview today. Scott Kile came in to talk about the late Jim Lecappelain and his contributions to North Bay minor hockey before he's recognized at the North Bay Sports Hall of Fame dinner as the Pete Hanley Friend of Sport Award.
I actually got a chance to attend the Ringette regionals,
yes.
And I went to one game, and it happened to be the local team beating Iroquois Falls for the gold. It was great.
It was great. I stopped by as well on Sunday. I didn't. I was just running around. I think my kids had some hockey and checked it out. Packed arena, lots of activity going on. Nice to see the concession open. I saw Lou Dogs was operating that.
I was talking to Ryan there a bit.
Yeah, so nice to see the rink buzzing, and again, those late weekends and the end of the hockey season, Ringette season, good to get the rinks used and have all those people in from out of town. So.
Yeah, and I got a follow-up interview with Olivia Parker, who is a referee. She's actually reffing that final, and we held the interview at Source Report.
I saw a great little backdrop, and very nice of them for a shout out. We were happy to support that event. It was, again, everything that brings people to the city. I
only actually saw a little bit of the North Bay Ballers 3-on-3, but we had Geoff Richardson come in for an interview. He zoomed in, and sounds like a really good, strong thing he has going there.
We're going to check out the Junior Lakers Girls Hockey Awards banquet. Will be held while we're recording this tonight. And so we're going to get some interviews with some of the award winners and some of the kids and just kind of hear about how their hockey season went. So we'll have that and something that hopefully we'll be able to spread out over the next couple of weeks as well.
Hey, who's our title sponsor for the show?
So this great show is going to be brought to you today by North Bay Toyota. Happy to have them on board as great sponsors. They've been supporting the podcast really since we started. So thank you to North Bay Toyota, and be sure to check out your North Bay Toyota.
It's time to Toyota at North Bay Toyota. From the bold and adventurous RAV4 to the fuel-efficient and stylish Corolla Cross to the powerful and rugged Tacoma, there's a Toyota for everyone. Need extra space? The Highlander, Grand Highlander, and Sienna have room for the whole family. Want to go green? Check out Toyota's complete lineup of hybrid vehicles like the Prius, Camry, Crown, and all-new Crown Signia, and more. Wherever you're headed, Toyota's legendary reliability, advanced safety features, and cutting-edge technology will get you there with confidence. It's time to Toyota at North Bay Toyota, 640 McEwen, or online at northbaytoyota.com for details.
Once again, because we're in between seasons, it's a little hard to get high school sports coverage, and I thought I would have some at the seniors were playing a badminton at Chippewa. So I popped in, and of course I didn't look to see if the buses were canceled again because I don't have a kid and I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
What's it like, Paul?
Why would you? Because the roads were dry. It was, I think, 5 degrees and sunny. It's very frustrating. I understand. I mean, I have spoken to people. I've heard the ideas about why and how early they have to make the call, and obviously safety and
I don't think
insurance.
that's the issue. What the issue is, and I was talking to a couple of parents about it, and I used to have to deal with it, and I don't know why they don't have a COVID protocol, a plan B that incorporates some actual education on that day.
I could not agree with you more, because I can tell you right now, I have a house with, 2 kids. My daughters are both go to high schools, and when they've shown up, they've been told, "Why are you here?" So that's kind of the expectation. My son's still like elementary school in grade 4, and I've even asked well, don't you guys use the gym? Well, it's not gym today. So, he doesn't want to go, and was miserable this morning because there was a 99% chance on the tracker that these kids use to find out when snow days are going to be, was expecting a snow day this morning. So I had a miserable 10-year-old in my house because he didn't want to have to go to school because he thought he didn't have to go.
What do teachers have to do when they live in the outlying area and the roads are dangerous?
I think they can If it was dangerous, say no, but I don't know what happens.
But we have the technology to do it online.
I'm wondering, is this something where someplace, somebody's saying that, it's not fair to the kids that don't have internet in rural communities. But I'm like, who doesn't have internet? How can we not be assigning something to these kids to do?
Well, they're not getting educated whether or not. So if the majority of the kids can actually, keep with, it's just plan B. Today there's no buses, so this is how we do education today.
What's the snow day projects that we should have? This is 13 as of yesterday's snow day, from what I've been told by other people. So
18 through the district?
13, sorry.
No, it was 18 through the district
right,
and 13 in North Bay.
Yeah.
So Perry Sound, of course, has a lot of other problems, lake effect stuff.
Yeah.
So they and some of the outlying areas have more issues. But for North Bay, 13 days.
And I mean, this has led to me having a couple discussions about an idea that I kind of started to have. I'm like, well, what can we do to trigger something when the snow day gets announced or the no buses, where there is maybe some activity for parents who need daycare services or kids that aren't really doing anything in school? What type of activities could we be pulling together? So if you've got any ideas, if you're watching this, I'm all ears. Because I'd love to have something where when that snow day happens, parents could go log on and sign their kids up for a camp and drop something off so that they can go to work and go about their day and not have to worry about their kids, sitting at home on a screen all day, or who knows.
And just has to be costs are involved. There's the parents going to work, paying more for their kids babysitting they are than they're earning, right?
Yeah.
So, that's the weather. And, I'm not sure if Trump and Elon can do anything about the carbon footprint. They certainly can't do anything about economics, finances.
I did notice gas prices dropped with the reduction of the carbon tax, I guess, coming off of gas. So that was a nice little relief for a few people. But
yeah, it's, you want to talk politics?
We try to keep politics out of sports, I think. It's hard enough. They're always in it.
I know. I started it.
Yeah.
That was my fault. Anyways, let's get on back to sports.
So, moving on. Let's highlight a really, a great sports story. Having Scott Kile come in here and share all the work that went on with Jim Lecappelain and his role in 40 years of being a minor hockey executive, volunteer, and looking after not only West Ferris minor hockey and then turning into North Bay Trappers, but also the Nipissing District Hockey League, so the NDHL, which kind of is the league that a lot of those teams play in. And something that Scott highlighted that I don't think I was really aware of, but like Jim Lecappelain was one of the ones instrumental in allowing, the girls program that Scott was starting up to be able to play in with the boys' house league teams. And honestly, I don't know that thought had ever crossed my mind that maybe didn't happen and those girls wouldn't have had a place to play. And maybe somebody else might not have, had the foresight and the belief that Jim did in making that happen. So here's a great way to talk about Jim, who's going to be recognized with the Pete Hanley Friend of Sport Award when the North Bay Sports Hall of Fame dinner happens. So here's our interview with Scott Kile. I don't really know where to begin, how to list your involvement in all the different things. But I mean, in my experience, obviously, hockey for beginners, your work starting up the girls hockey program, all of your work with the Trappers, with looking after the midgets, and then all of your time back with North Bay minor hockey, and then helping to bridge the gap between North Bay minor hockey and West Ferris minor hockey, which I really think is a story for another day, because that's a whole episode.
Right.
But what we really, starting off here, I think we wanted to discuss your relationship with Jim Lecappelain and everything that Jim brought, as he's being recognized by the North Bay Sports Hall of Fame and the Pete Hanley Friend of Sport Award. And thanks for coming and welcome.
Well, thank you. And yeah, Jim and our relationship goes way back to the minor hockey wars.
Yep.
And, I was, of course, on the opposite side. I was North Bay minor hockey. Jim was West Ferris minor hockey. And back in those days, we were two associations vying for the same kids, and the biggest Nevada box, with the coach of the biggest Nevada box, had the best team, and there's a few of us that were trying to even the playing field here, and Jim was one of them. So it was a difficult journey in itself just to enter an operational agreement and do it in such a fashion that it didn't affect 700. Well, each team had roughly each association had about 600, 700 kids. We had to put it together, and you need people like Jim to be able to do something like that, because a lot of stuff had to be confidential. A lot of stuff had to be thrown back and forth, and if it had gotten out there, I'm sure it would have derailed the attempt. Because there's a lot of people out there just didn't want it. So, dealing with Jim and talking to him, he was always there for those things. And that was my first encounter with Jim. And then, of course, when we decided to do the operational agreement, the agreement was that North Bay Minor Hockey would never operate the same programs as West Ferris Minor Hockey. And that was a handshake agreement with, Ben Janak and Don Wallace and Réal Belanger and some really good people at West Ferris at the time. And, and we honored that. But then we had a situation where we had started the girls hockey. And we started with our one team, and then the next year we had three, but it was all done under North Bay Minor Hockey. West Ferris felt they couldn't, take everything. And totally agreed. We agreed. And so that was the start of the North Bay District Girls Hockey Association. So now you got the girls, and when I was with North Bay Minor Hockey, it was easy because decisions were made where the girls played in the the boys' house league, and we were able to have control over that. And so next we had to bring the girls and find them a place to play, and it would have been the NDHL. Of course, who's the person you go to? Jim Lecappelain. And so again, like I had, went on to the board of the North Bay District Girls, and there we went to. I remember going to the meeting. I'm trying to think where it was. It might have been Mattawa or somewhere, because it was always traveling around, and talking to Jim about it. And absolutely, there's no question, no doubt, these girls need a place to play, and we're going to do it. And I remember starting my spiel at the NDHL and the board, and there's my partner in crime, Jim Lecappelain, speaking up, saying this is a must and it has to happen. And so we were able to find a place for the girls to play, and they played in the NDHL and they played in the boys' house league divisions. And then with Jim, any big decision, he was there. He might not have been the person that, sometimes I get an email or something, but then I could always count on the old Ford truck pulling up. Because when you start thinking about things, Jim didn't use a phone. Like, he came to see you. And it got to the point even at work that he'd walk in and the clerk at the desk would see him and just know that he's going to my office. And Jim would get a glass of water along the way. And we would deal with whatever we had to deal with. And it was everything from when we with the girls hockey, or the amalgamation of the girls hockey, the AAA, the Trapper Association and stuff like that. When when I took over as the commissioner of the Trappers, we had the NDHL had a team. It was all over the map. West Ferris had their team, and we went into a meeting, and they were trying to figure out how they were going to amalgamate the two teams. Keith Barton asked me to go to this meeting, keep an open mind. I went. Of course, Jim is there and chit-chatting with me, but they couldn't get at that time. They couldn't get along. So I remember talking to Jim and trying to figure this thing out, and it was decided by the time I was done with Jim that we were going to take everything we had, which was our finances, our constitution, and that back then we trademarked the logo. Remember that? And we just put it all on the table and said, "Listen, let's make an association here." And those are things that he had a part of, because he was always behind the scenes, but he'd come and see me and talk to me, and I'd be able to run these things by him. And I mean, it was sometimes scary, like, because you're dealing with a community, and some people in the community are always not quite upfront or happy with the decisions you're going to make, especially the operational agreement. And you notice I used the word operational agreement back in the day, because the amalgamation came many years later. And
give us a sense of the time frame on when these things are happening.
Okay, so this would have started in the 90s. I joined the North Bay Minor Hockey Board around 94. So, and it was in financial distress. Like, there was no secret there, and we were trying to figure it out. And once we found out, how much in debt it was, we had to do something, and we couldn't crash and burn because we owed money in the community. We had to take care of that. And then we also had 640 kids we had to look after. So that was in I think 95, 96. And then it was the girls. I started the girls in 95, 96. So we ran 2 years. So we're probably looking about 98.
Sports aren't just what we do, they're who we are. Source for Sports North Bay is your advocate, your local support system, and your biggest fan. 1321 Fisher Street has grown from a place where knowledgeable experts can help you find exactly the gear you need, to the hotbed of team uniforms, apparel and fanwear, to a community stronghold for all the things that truly matter to you and your family's sports journey. We love helping you find your first pair of skates, as much as we relish supporting local leagues, teams, and athletes. Wherever your sports journey takes you, make sure you visit Source for Sports North Bay at 1321 Fisher Street so we can help you along your way.
Well, I enjoyed talking to Olivia Parker about the Ringette. I actually was a referee in Ringette when I was 16, and I was at the provincials here in 1982. I was reffing the tweens at West Ferris, and she told me now that they have the refs actually give an award to whoever falls the best during a game. Okay. And I would have won it in 82.
Yeah. It was a really, really great event. And it's nice to see. I mean, I know Ringette obviously is, has for 25 years had girls hockey in town, and that's obviously a bit of a split for the players to have, but they continue to survive. They've got a strong board, lots of great volunteers and coaches that are dedicated to Ringette. And anytime teams come to North Bay, maybe North Bay doesn't know that as well to the people outside the Ringette community, but this is the Ringette Mecca. This is their visiting teams like to go by and see the house that Sam and Agnes Jacks raised their kids in, and basically where Ringette started at the West Ferris Arena. So this is really nice. It's always a homecoming for Ringette whenever it's held in North Bay.
The interesting thing is that when we're talking to Scott about the transition period between the North Bay Minor Hockey and West Ferris Hockey, they still have the West Ferris name, and because they don't have. Everybody in Ringette knows where West Ferris is because this is where Ringette came from. And so their jerseys are Ringette 63s. Yep. And they're going to be celebrating their 63rd year fairly soon next year, not the 2026. Yeah. Right? And so I thought that was really kind of cool. I also asked Olivia, what's the difference between Ringette? What makes it special compared to girls hockey? Mm-hmm. And there's a very interesting sort of discussion there. I believe, and she didn't touch upon it. She talked about a lot of different attributes about Ringette and why it's a little bit less of body contact. Mm-hmm. The pace is faster. Yep. They have it set up so that everybody knows what they have to do when the goalie makes a stop and it's in the crease. Nobody can touch it. But I think one of the really things that make Ringette stand out as a great sport is that the movement of the ring over the lines, which requires more sort of, you can't have one person, you can't have McDavid. Yeah. Right?
It needs to move, yeah.
It needs to move. So you have to have a lot more sort of team play, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's why I like it a lot. And it was great. It was nice to be able to see Ringette at a fast pace again, and nice to see the local team, the U16-19B team, beat Iroquois Falls. Very close games, great saves, great shots. I got a little bit of eye candy for that. But let's go straight into our interview with Olivia and let her speak. Well, the Northeast Regional Ringette Championships are over. A good job West Ferris hosted. Tell me about the tournament and the local teams that won.
So we had a 3-day tournament inviting all people from Timmins, Iroquois Falls, Sault Ste. Marie, Walden, Sudbury, and North Bay. We had 8 local teams in the tournament and 6 local teams and 8 divisions. I think we had a total of 37 teams across all the divisions. And we actually had 3 local teams medal, including our U10 team, or Fun 3. One of our 18 plus teams got a silver medal, and our U19 team got a gold.
Yeah, that was a great game. We have some video evidence of it. You were actually refereeing that game.
I sure was. It was a really exciting game to be both on the ice, and the energy in the arena was electric. Unfortunately, I couldn't show that because I was refereeing, but it really was something.
Oh no, it was a great game. It was close, and you could tell that people appreciated the competition being that close. What was the team that they played?
They played against an Iroquois Falls U16B team.
Oh, okay.
Who had been undefeated in the tournament so far. So. And
you tried to help them along a little bit. There was a lot of penalties for West Ferris that they had to fight through. It was part of the adversity that makes the championship worthwhile.
It sure was. It was a really good game. Honestly, it was a bit of a nail biter for myself too, being on the ice. I'm really happy to see that West Ferris won, but obviously I couldn't really be partial to them while I was on the ice. That's why you may have seen them in the box, but.
Yeah, no, it was. I didn't think the penalties were offside in any way. It just made things a little bit more tense for the local side, and I'm not sure who that goalie was, but she was fantastic.
Yeah, I think honestly, both goalies on both teams, I think, deserve a bit of the tip of the hat because they did unreal. That game could have been a lot higher score because there were some phenomenal shots as well. Mm-hmm. I think both goalies stood on their heads, but both teams did exceptionally in that game. Yeah. It was fun to keep up with, that's for sure.
So we're doing this interview at Source for Sports that sponsored the tournament along with some others, and they also sponsor the Sportscast here. What other businesses helped make that tournament happen?
So we were really fortunate to have Gen 7 Fuels at Jonquil Point sponsor. They actually provided gas cards for all of our referees who were traveling from out of the area. We had Casey's was a sponsor. We struck a deal with Booster Juice that all of our athletes got 10% off if they went in. I can't think of any more off the top of my head, but there were a good list of sponsors. We actually were also supported by Tourism North Bay and the City of North Bay.
Oh, and I bumped into Ryan from Lou Dogs. He was running the concession stand.
That's right. We were able to get Lou Dogs into Pete Planta Arena to sell concessions, and they'll be... they were really great to deal with, and there was a lot of people that were happy to see concessions at the arena.
Now, this is Wednesday, April 2nd, and you're heading off to a tournament. Tell me about it.
So it's the U12 Provincial Championships run by Ringette, Ontario. We do actually have a local team playing in the U12 Championships, our U12A team. I will be refereeing again. I'm not sure if I'll have the chance to see our local team, but I'll certainly be following along online.
When's that final for that tournament?
The final game for their division, I believe, is early Sunday afternoon. I looked at the time earlier and I completely forget.
Well, Ringette Ontario has a really great website where you can actually see all the game sheets and the rosters and the scores so people can follow it that way. I don't think they have live video, though.
They don't have live video, unfortunately. You might get lucky if a parent or two is in the arena with their phone, but Ringette Ontario has a live game sheet app that they use. It's called Ramp. So as the games are happening, you can actually see the live score as it's happening, and you can see live, basically the live game log as it's happening.
Well, that's pretty cool. Tell me about Ringette in North Bay now, and how's it sit as far as the numbers and participation?
So I believe in this last season for our house league, I want to say we were somewhere around the 250 mark for just house league participants. We have a handful of A teams, a handful of B level teams. Actually, our U14A team found success. They got a silver medal at the A provincials a couple weeks ago. But yeah, we've definitely got a lot of competitive teams. So what we're working on right now is growing things from kind of the bottom of we want house league players because we want to develop those house league players so that we can make a stronger rep program as well. But also, we just want to have everybody have the opportunity to have fun playing Ringette.
Now, 63 is the number on the jersey as part of the name, and that's because the Ringette was invented here or put into play.
Yeah.
And you just recently celebrated, I guess, your 60th anniversary?
That's right, yeah. So our 60th anniversary would have been in 2023. So we're actually getting close to celebrating 63rd anniversary. So Ringette was invented in 1963 in North Bay by Sam Jacks. And his wife, Agnes, took the game and brought it everywhere in the world. And here we are today. It's played at a local level, provincial level, national, and international level. So it's been really neat. Over the years, we've actually hosted tournaments at every level, including World Championships in 2013 when we were celebrating our 50th anniversary. So it's been really exciting being a part of seeing the growth. I've been involved in the association since before our 40th anniversary. So it's been great to see it grow.
Is there anything else North Bay people should know about Ringette and North Bay?
Honestly, we're the birthplace of Ringette. We're so beyond proud of that. We're the only place in the world that can say that. And we just want to see the Ringette thrive here. And other people in other associations will come and travel to North Bay to see our sign that says birthplace of Ringette. And that's something that we can be proud of. And we want to show them that it's not just our sign. We're also really good Ringette players, and we want to show that.
Tell me why Ringette's a good sport.
Oh, gosh, that's a loaded question.
Yeah. Compared to women's hockey, which is thriving right now.
I think what I've really loved about Ringette was it's just, in my opinion, it's a faster paced game. So something that we have in Ringette that they don't have in hockey is similar to basketball, a shot clock, the 30-second shot clock. And between that and a few other rules that have been introduced over the years, we've gotten just the gameplay just happens a lot quicker. When the ring stops, there tends to be a whistle and we'll restart the play and things get moving again. We don't do as many face-offs. We actually don't do face-offs at all. We have a free pass. When the ring goes into the crease, no one else is allowed in there. The goalie will get it, and it's immediately back in play. The goalie throws it out. So just little things like that. It just makes the game faster and faster. And every time they review the rules, the goal is to make the game faster. And because there's not as much contact in the game, there's not supposed to be as much contact in the game, it really helps to keep things flowing. And honestly, I've always really liked that. And I just love the community as well. Being part of it for so long, it's part of me.
Well, congratulations and thanks for the interview.
Thank you so much.
All right. I like how we had Geoff Richardson Zoom in for an interview. I couldn't make time for him yesterday, and I wasn't there for the finals on Sunday. I stopped in on Saturday. I was very impressed with it. But it's a great way. I think we can do that more often for our interviews. Nice, quick 15-minute hits, and that way people don't have to drive around on these snow days.
Snow days and the bad roads. Yeah. No, Geoff is, again, they've got a great group putting these tournaments on, and and running the men's basketball league as well, and looking to get more stuff and camps for kids. So yeah, this is really good, and for people that aren't aware of what's going on, I think this will really open your eyes to it, and keep that on the calendar. Sounds like end of March is the sweet spot for them, so they'll be doing it again. And anybody that goes always has positive things to say about the production of what they're putting on, and it's a great thing for another tourist type of thing to get people into North Bay.
Right on. Well, let's hear it from Geoff. So we have Geoff Richardson from the North Bay Ballers event on the weekend, and it looked like it was very exciting for the people that were there. I've never actually seen 3-on-3 before, so give us a rundown on the organization and what the event was about, and the winners, of course.
Yeah, sure. So, the event was all about basketball. It was all about the sport of 3-on-3. So, we basically work with an international organization that sets the rules for these games to happen. So pickup is very loose. There's often, you check it up top and things like that, some informal rules. But what FIBA has done internationally is implemented a set of rules that are standardized across anyone playing in FIBA tournaments. So the rules that they've actually set, it's still basketball, no doubt, but it's a lot more fast paced. So as soon as the ball goes in the basket from an offensive player, the defensive player has the ball in their hand, and their 14-second shot clock begins. So they have to basically run their offense, clear it past the 3-point line, and score within 14 seconds. So you can imagine how quickly that happens. And because of the way the strategies work in terms of taking advantage of those rules or using those rules to your advantage, you'll often see a lot of kick out threes, a lot of really quick passes, a lot of screens, a lot of plays off of the ball. And it's just a really, really fast paced and interesting and exciting version of basketball 5-on-5. That's, like the traditional way of playing.
Yeah, it's a smaller ball and a little bit more bounce to it too, I thought. Yeah, so a little bit easier to go in the basket.
Bounce should be the same.
Yeah.
It is smaller, yeah, but it actually weighs the same as a men's ball. So a lot of men don't struggle with the weight. So it's in between the size of a women's ball and a basketball, like a size 7 and a size 8. And it's just, you do have to get used to it a little bit, but it does go in a little bit easier, so I'm told. So back to the organizing of the event, basically, myself, Amit Maharaj, Lian Emal, and Samantha High took this on about 6 months ago. We had done one previously, and Paul, I see you in the studio. Paul was very essential and intricate to getting this pulled off the first year, and again this year. So Paul, I don't know if anyone knows, he probably doesn't toot his own horn enough, but he sponsored the majority of the cost of all the jerseys that you see, and they're awesome quality jerseys. They came out perfect. The players had nothing but good things to say about the jerseys that they got from Sorcerer Sports. And Paul, thank you personally for stepping up and making this possible, because we don't actually have any funding for this. We put it on purely through the support of people that love the basketball, environment in North Bay and want to see it grow. So there's a lot of sponsors that step up to the plate, and Paul is an essential one. We would not have been able to pull this tournament off without Paul, but also Canadore hosted us all weekend. So they had their staff there. They were fantastic. We had some court sponsors as well. So Redline Detailing sponsored the court. Pearson Tree Service sponsored the court. We had a Noah Strong skills camp for the first time this year, which was super amazing. Every kid, of course, had the number 71. And we had some professional coaches teaching the kids, I think it was right around 10, 11, 12 years old, the ins and outs of 3x3 basketball in the morning. So it was cool. We had a dunk show. We had a 3-point competition. The men's elite hometown winners this year. So big props to Joey Puttister's team. And then Mike DuPel's team came a close second. It was a really exciting finish. The women's division, though, I've got to tell you, honestly, Sunday is when we had the rec in the women's division. So we were so proud to have our first women's division. I don't think it's in Ontario, but certainly north of Barrie. No one has ever had a FIBA tournament that's been sanctioned by FIBA north of Barrie that has included women. And the finals game of the women's basketball was the most exciting game of the entire weekend. Like it was back and forth. It was overtime. It was foul shots. It was shots going in while people were fouled. It was spectacular. And so Triple Threat won that tournament. They won themselves $1,000, which is super cool. Joey Puttister's team won $2,000. Don't hit him up for loans though. I think all that money is like spent. So, and then the rec league, my nephew Jake was on the winning team, M&M, and they won themselves $400. So it was a great weekend. It was awesome. It had so many levels to it, and we were just so satisfied with how much of an impression I knew that people were walking away with after seeing that.
So what's next?
So next, actually, we have a 3-on-3 tournament scheduled downtown in North Bay at those beautiful courts that were just made a couple of years ago, and it coincides with the Bay Block Party. So August 23rd, we're running it back, and we're going to do another FIBA 3x3 tournament downtown at the outdoor courts. That's actually what the impetus was for this whole thing. Like my buddy Ahmed and I and Lian Emal at the beginning, he runs a threes league, which is separate from the Bay City Ballers basketball tournament. But he had the same idea as we did, and essentially, we wanted to see 3-on-3 grow. We wanted to see those outdoor courts be utilized to their fullest, and we were actually to able to have the first tournament set at the outdoor courts, and that's just really been our hometown tournament. We love it. We're going to do it every summer, and this year we're really excited to partner with Bay Block Party.
Well, maybe you get the Trues to put their own team in for the tournament.
That would be amazing. we would be very excited to have that. I want to ask. So I know, Paul, you're aware of the sport, obviously, and so are you, Dave. Now that you've visited, it was great to see you. What is your impression of this tournament? Like from an outsider's perspective, we can talk all day long about how we feel about it, but we want to know maybe what the word is out in the community and what you guys felt about it.
Well, it was exciting to see some competitive athletes in that sort of fast-paced environment, and you had two courts going on at the same time. Canadore is a great facility because you had the people in the stands. It sounded great. The refs were good. It was really kind of cool. Rob Roy was reffing, and it was bringing me back to the times when I first started at Canadore in '86, and he was playing for the Panthers, right? And so it was just kind of wild for me to be sitting there. I saw a lot of guys that I've seen before, and some of them in high school teams. It was better than I thought, actually. I've seen some stuff on TV before, and outside, it didn't really catch my attention too much. But to be there and to see how the players were, it was physical, but not like dramatically dangerous. Like it was good basketball. Of course, somebody wouldn't get into something like that, and I was watching. It wasn't the rec league; it was the other stuff. But and I missed the dunking contest. I wish I would have been there for that. So it seems like it's a very exciting thing for fans. It's a very, and the pace is good, right? The games are short, and there's a good feel to it. So yeah, I actually probably go to one now before I wouldn't.
The vibe with the DJ there, and you guys did such an amazing job with the uniform design, so I'm so happy to be a part of it. You guys were kind of a test case for me last year with the new sort of project that we're having, and kudos to that company. Learning that stuff was basically arriving the day before last year, so we got a lot more time on it. Yeah, so it was a little scary there.
We remember.
Yeah. But no, I just think it's amazing. Like in everything I'm trying to, work at the store in terms of like growing sports and looking beyond hockey. I think it's amazing because it's such an accessible sport for adults, kids, and when you start playing on a team that's smaller like that, it's easier to find the people. So and then you're bringing people in from out of town, giving an experience, showing off North Bay. Like it just checks off so many boxes, and it's fantastic that you guys are doing that. I love the tie into the Bay Block Party. Like how did you guys get started with this idea? Like where did this come from? Was this born out of the covert 3-on-3 days that were played during COVID in Amit's garage, or what? I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that right now.
What? We absolutely can. That hypothetical situation was a great benefit to a lot of people. And yeah, we started playing 3-on-3 in that garage. We had to make do with what we had. I know a lot of balls bounced off the ceiling, but it was awesome, and the pace was cool. It was a good vibe, and you didn't have to gather so many people together, right? So I think that's kind of where it came from. And then we saw the outdoor courts being built, and we're like, oh man, we gotta get something going there. Like we really need to take advantage of that beautiful space that we have. And I know so many people have worked so hard to get that going that the least we could do is support it, be there, get like Liam with this threes league as well. Like that was kind of happening at the same time where he was looking for something to do, because everything was shut down, and he put together this threes league. It was so basic, but then over time, people just really liked what he was offering, and the camaraderie and just spending time with your friends outside. And the games are quick. It's not a huge commitment, but it's a lot of fun. And so I think it kind of snowballed from there. And then once we had our tournament, Liam got us in touch with 3x3 Canada, and we partnered with them to bring the first tournament north of Barrie to North Bay last year. We actually had a team come from Atlanta, Georgia, the first year to win, and they won $2,000. And they were amazing athletes, but we gave them a run for their money. And this year we had teams from Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Englehart even. Okay, so we're on the map at Englehart. So we're just going to keep going with that.
Well, you know you're successful then when you've hit Englehart.
Oh yeah, exactly. Englehart pays attention to whoa.
I do have one idea for you for your August 23rd event.
Love it.
Have a quick paced how many free throws you can get in a set time, but with the North Bay counselors competing against each other.
I love it. I love it.
Or some business guys, and then they could pay to enter it, and it's something that not everybody can run around and play basketball, but everybody can probably do some sort of shot, and that would be kind of exciting to see and fun if there's a time frame in between.
I think so.
Things.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. We love zany ideas and fun ideas like that too. Like this year, we brought in a player's entrance. So at the finals, we shut all the lights off in the gym, and Canadore lent us these smoke machines with LED lights, and then we rented these light tubes from Kyle Sell. He has these super cool, like huge lightsaber things that sit on a stand. Yeah, they're portable, they're batteries. So we just lined up like this launch pad, basically this runway for the players to run in the dark and the smoke and the lights and the music. It was awesome.
Yeah,
so we're up for anything.
Yeah, that hype video has some of that. So that's pretty special. That's kind of cool. Really, really good job.
One of the things I've been or a line that's sort of stuck with me now is like, culture just doesn't happen on its own. Like it needs to be created. You need to go out and create these events and do that. And people will follow it. It doesn't just organically come on its own. So it takes guys like you. We just had an interview with Scott Kile discussing 40 years of minor hockey executive involvement and pushing these things. And people don't always get to know what happens behind the scenes. But, these are the types of things that are going to draw. They get on people's calendars. They want to come and find out more about it. So I just want to say it's fantastic that you guys are doing it. It's great for the city of North Bay. And a small plug, thank you as well for all the time that you guys were happy to bring my wife out for a little bit of basketball action too. And I think you really lit the fire for her to get back involved with coaching and everything that she's doing with Nipissing. So yeah, that was amazing what you guys have done. That's great. And you don't even know the effect that you have. Like, the youth playing basketball for the, first time, maybe 3-on-3 rules in the morning on Sunday. And you just don't know how far those ripples travel. But, the team that we put together, Liam, Amit, and Sam and myself, we just love being that stone in the lake, like getting those ripples going. And we're always down to support anything. And we love the support and the love that we've received from the sporting community in North Bay. And some tense moments. We look at our budget and we have a negative, $3,000 hole that, no one else is coming up with that money except us, right? But in the end, people always step up and support something that has that effect on our community. So with guys like you, of course, Paul and Dave, even just for getting the word out, so appreciative of everything you guys do for us.
Well, it's great to cover something that's getting some excitement and energy into the town, and good job, man. Good job.
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate all you guys do for sports in North Bay. Thank you. Planning starts for next year, I guess, now, or we can stick with the date. Is this the date that kind of works for everything, or is there lots of? I think we like the end of March. Yeah. Yeah, we like the end of March because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get CIAU players and university players to play, right? Participate, travel, Sudbury. I mean, we need more sub variants to come to North Bay. I mean, we gotta the rivalry exists. It's real in hockey, right? I bet it's real in basketball too. You get the Sudbury 705 up there. I mean, there's a lot of angles, and actually, Jordan Kilgannon is he's a world-class dunk champion. He's dunking in China. Look him up. Look him up. Check out his dunks. And he lives in Sudbury. His home base is Sudbury. I would love to see that man in North Bay, just wowing the crowd. I think all these things are possible. And we set that date so that those players could participate, whether they made the playoffs or not. So I like that date. Canada is good with it. And we're back again next year, no doubt. And then the summer is just a great kind of precursor to that as well. So we're hyped. Absolutely. No, that's fantastic.
But just want to finish off and say that because of the storm on Sunday, the college closed down. We didn't have the men's basketball final, right? And so it's scheduled for this Sunday. I think your warm-up's at 7, and then the final game's at 7:30. And I believe it's the green team against DeMarco's Lucenti Insurance.
Yeah, green versus red.
Yeah, right on. Well, we'll see you up there on Sunday.
I think they were actually pretty happy. They were pretty happy that things were delayed. I think
I know
there were several players in that league. Yeah, no doubt. There were several players that were silently cheering that was moved. So it's going to be exciting. Those two teams have a lot of talent on them, and they play hard and leave it all out there in the court. So just anyone that's interested in a really high-paced, amazing game, you're going to see one on Sunday.
Well, it looks like I missed one of the last great Battalion games of the season.
So I was driving home from, I don't know, some skates, hockey practice and baseball practice, I think, running kids. And I drove on Castles by Chippewa and I started seeing cars leaving. And I was like, oh, yeah, better check the game. And I looked and it was just about to go to the third, or ending the third, it tied 3-3. So I guess some people were beating North Bay traffic, or maybe they were concerned about the impending snowstorm that was going to...
Well, it was snowing.
Yes, it was.
Pretty good. It started right after school.
Yeah, exactly. Best time for a snow day. And so I drove the kids home and then raced back. I actually was texting with Laura. I was like, how many laps left with the Zamboni and is the bar still open? And she said yes to both. So I dropped the kids off, got back to the rink, walked in about a minute into overtime. So I got to watch 5 minutes because you never know in playoffs. Like you can have those 2-period, they go deep and exciting. So anyways, it was a tough loss. It took them to overtime, but and then they'll be playing tonight as we record this. So when this comes out, the decision we'll know whether there's a game 5 or if that's a wrap on their season and they can get started for next year. But
yeah. Now you have some insight on why were there only 2,800 fans in the stands?
So it wasn't a snowstorm. That wasn't there. I mean, there was snow, but that's not. So this is for nerds like me that are into the off-ice side of running sports or whatever. This is a difficult thing for any team to promote their first 2 playoff games. And the reason for it is you have your season ticket holders that are maybe corporate sponsors and they've budgeted, I'm going to buy this many tickets or this is what we're paying. The playoffs come out and they have the option to renew, but they don't always renew. Same with season ticket holders. Some people might be in Florida. They buy the tickets, but they're not. And then the team's sort of held hostage waiting for all of those people to claim their tickets or decide not and then put them back out. So there's a really small window for any team to sell tickets before that, their first 2 games. So whether it's game 1, 2 or game 3, 4, and then if you come home and you're down 2-0, the mood's maybe not there.
Number 18 playing the number 1 team.
Yeah, all of those things kind of play. Now, this obviously doesn't affect the Toronto Maple Leafs or probably the London Knights, but a lot of smaller teams, and it doesn't matter whether it's Canada, the U.S., minor pro, it's always difficult to get that. And then as, game 5, 6, 7 start to happen, and now you've got a closer series, and people are talking about it. The 50-50s start to go up, the hype, you want to be there. So usually by, especially if you draw a game 7, then you should expect a sellout, and then that kind of sets the table for the rest of the run. Also, I mean, the Battalion, North Bay's been very fortunate. They've gone 3 rounds for the last 3 years. So that's a lot of playoff hockey. So sometimes you get those people that are sitting on the fence waiting to decide to go in and see how it happens. So then
I haven't really followed the OHL this year very closely, but they're is it Brantford they're playing?
Yes.
Do they have a McDavid star that would draw people?
They don't have a star, but they have a lot of they don't have a superstar or somebody that's pegged to go draft, but they have a lot of strong veteran players, and that's that cycle of the OHL too. I mean, having through, it was. I think North Bay bounced Brantford last year in the first round. So if not the first, the second. Like they've, it just kind of goes back and forth. It's not an indication of anything wrong with either the team or the fans or anything that people aren't going to those first couple games. And, now's the time for them to reset. And I know, Adam and everybody that he's got there are going to be busy working. The draft will be coming up soon. And they've got a young team. They've made some good picks or good trades throughout for some young. So you're going to watch the next generation of Battalion players come through. And, hopefully next year is we're back to going into playoff runs.
Well, let's have Adam in when they're ready and sort of get the ball rolling for next year. Maybe we can do a little bit more coverage. we like to do the other sports because the battalion have their own following. So we're trying to give people airtime with high school and stuff like that. But I think we should do a little bit more with the battalion next year.
And I'd love to, Adam and his team have done a fantastic job this year of, it's no secret that there's some obstacles maybe to overcome, or maybe past feelings of how the team sometimes might have conducted business in town, but there's a new regime there. There are new people with new ideas, and they're really doing a great job to connect with the community. So I'd love to hear.
They're smoothing those wrinkles up.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And like anything, you're not going to get them all taken care of in 1 year. I'd love to hear from Adam with all of the wins that they're happy with off ice, and maybe hear what the plan is for how they'll continue to build on that for next year. So yeah, it'd be great to get Adam in.
Yeah, so we're not there at the game tonight because we're at the Junior Lakers banquet.
Junior Lakers are having their awards banquet for the hockey girls as the season comes close to a close. There's still a couple teams that will go to provincials, but most teams have wrapped up, and we're just kind of in limbo while we wait for tryouts. But yeah, so this is the second year for the Girls Association to do it. It'll be held up at Nipissing University in the gym. That will be packed full of girls all wearing their jerseys. And I think they're trying to limit the time because some of the coaches' speeches went a little long last year. But very condensed. There'll be some awards for, most spirit. I really should have checked that out. I know what the awards are, but we're gonna go up and we're gonna interview some of the award winners after and just hear about their hockey experience and some great memories from this year. So we'll have that.
We won't be able to turn it all around so quickly for our show that comes out on Friday, but we'll give a little bit of a taste of it, and we're going to have a better package or more complete package for our show next Friday.
Yeah.
Our 30th Sportscast.
30th Sportscast. And, again, these are all lessons that we learned from this year. And the one lesson I think that I'm seeing is that, the interviews that you're having with the athletes when you're at the school is like, that is really what people are looking for, and that seems to get some of the most positive feedback, whether it's people stopping us on the street or in a rink talking or just sharing stuff online. So
names
we
and faces and action clips. That's the key right there. Yeah. So if we can get more of that, we're going to be able to be on good stead, and then our sponsors will get the views that they deserve for supporting our show. So excellent. Let's check out a little bit of the Junior Lakers, and thank you very much.
Have a great day. We'll talk to you next week.
I'm Lena Gasson. I play U8 Team B. I won most spirited.
Maddie Corville, U8 Team B. I love just meeting new people and getting to have new friends and new experiences.
Hi, my name is Ava Jessa, U18 Double B. I won most Team Spirit.